Actually, let's go with forecast. Okay, I think we are good. Welcome everyone to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Ale Wolf, otherwise known as Ales, gentleman streamer, otherwise known as the excellence of execution, but therein lies a lie. Welcome back to Thursday night. Here's hoping that you caught my earlier stream today. We actually played Elden Ring sometime, I want to say 5-6 hours ago, depending on your time zone. And we made some quite good progress there, so catch that if you're interested in that sort of thing. So in some ways I'm getting off of a high. It was quite a nice victory, I want to say. A very interesting landmark. Lots of friends joined us, but of course tonight we're in for the business end of things. This is, as I like to call it, the Modern Speakeasy corner, in which we play modern games. Modern in the sense that they are roughly this generation of the last. And of course, for the Modern Speakeasy corner, we've been playing either Hades or Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. And very good games thus far. Hades, if you will recall, it's about 70-ish or so attempts. If the title of the stream is to be assumed, it's been about 75 times that I've attempted to escape and failed. So here's hoping that today is the day that we break out of Hades. That being said, it's gonna be a bittersweet victory because if I break out, I don't know what I will do with myself afterwards. One interesting detail, if you have been following along with my Hades saga, is just the fact that last time I gave up on a run that I thought was cursed. I gave up on a run that I thought, hey, you know what, there's no point in me continuing, I'm gonna go to sleep. And I did go to sleep, but then the next day I actually picked up that very same run, and I followed through, and I made it all the way to Hades. And you know what? I beat him all the way to his first stage, which is something that I had never done. I almost thought that I had beat him, considering that I didn't know Hades had stages. So quite a bit of like a mixed emotions there in that particular piece of progress. But that just goes to show you that a cursed run doesn't necessarily mean defeat. It simply means, you know what, it ain't over until it's over. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let's see what happens tonight. But before we move on to tonight, let's see what exactly is on tap. This one is called Neon Giants, which is something that I picked up fairly recently. It is a collaboration. And so the interesting thing I find about collaborations is I don't actually know who does what things. In my mind, in a perfect world, it's the sort of thing where two brewers come together and they say, hey, let's make this thing, and we mix 50% of our ideas together, and somebody brews it and the perfect mixture comes up. Maybe something iconic of both of their styles. I don't know that that's how that works, but I'd like to think that that's how it does. Neon Giants is a collaboration between Omegang Brewery, or Brewery Omegang, and Firestone Walker. And I have higher thoughts about Omegang than Firestone. Firestone is solid, don't get me wrong. They've got a couple of very solid beers like 805. I do like the 805. But Omegang itself, I think it's because of the style that they specialize in. They're actually a subsidiary of Duvel. And Duvel, as some of you might know, is actually a Belgian brewery. Omegang is a brewery that specializes in Belgian-style beers in America, which is definitely a very noble cause. So this is what the can looks like. Very cosmic. I love the oranges and the blues. Very much a favorite style of mine. The other thing that you might notice is that it calls itself a astronomically hazy IPA, which is a denomination that I have never heard of before. So let's piece this out. What exactly is a hazy IPA? You might wonder. I've heard of IPAs. They suck. I don't want to deal with them. Get out of my life, please. Stay away. Here's a restraining order. But wait, before you hold up that restraining order, let me tell you, hazy IPAs are different than West Coast IPAs, which is what people mostly refer to as IPAs. A West Coast IPA excels in its bitterness, and I say excels with very big quotation marks. It essentially accentuates the bitterness of the hops, and the way that it does that is during the boiling process, people will add different hops into it. They will boil the heck out of it, and what happens is the hops themselves will yield very bittering agents, which some people tend to favor. I'm not gonna cast aspersions at them in their face. On the other hand, hazy IPAs, which is a relatively new style, I want to say maybe in the last 10 years or so, I don't know my beer history that well. What they do is, rather than use those hops during the boiling process, they will add them during the fermentation process, which is the fermentation is the step right after boiling. And what that allows the hops to do is to, rather than yield bittering agents, it actually yields aromatic and flavoring reagents. And the interesting thing about that is that the flavors and aromas that come out of that are relatively tropical, things like pineapple, grapefruit, oranges, tangerines. Very, very interesting stuff. Grapefruit, maybe sometimes even guava, depending on the hops that you throw in there and depending on the amounts that you throw in there. They're very drinkable. They're considered very juicy. One other interesting thing about hazy IPAs that is different than West Coast IPAs is also just the fact that hazy IPAs, as their name suggests, is hazy, and the reason for that is because you don't actually filter out the yeast when you put them into their aging containers, whether it be bottles or cans or what have you, and so you end up with a concoction that is relatively opaque as opposed to a standard IPA, which is translucent to transparent in best case scenario. So it's almost like you're drinking a fruit juice, if I might say that. But that's enough talk. Let's see what this beer actually suggests. And of course, me, rather than being ready, I actually need to get my glass. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and do one of these. Let me go find my glass for just one quick second, folks. And of course I don't have my display over here. Voila! And we are back. Sorry about that, folks. I simply wanted to make sure that I wanted to get my glass without too much commotion. So let's go ahead and, before we actually pour this bad boy, let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say on the matter. I'm going to pull this on my main screen and switch sources. Where are my sources here? Let's see. So Neon Giants. Hops from around the planet explode in this juicy supernova. A collaboration with our stellar friends at Firestone Walker, tropical fruit aromas deliver at warp speed an exquisite nebula flavor. Revel in its hazy vastness. So that's quite the description there. Very nebulous, very astrological, cosmic, if you will. I don't know what a juicy supernova tastes like, but I'm hoping that it's a burst of flavor. And tropical fruit aromas. Here's hoping that it's fruit forward. Here's the description of the hops. I am not a very big connoisseur of hops. I do recognize their names, but I don't know that I particularly ascribe flavors to them. I guess that's the next step in my evolution, the evolution of Ale Wolf. What do specific hops taste like? Yeah, so coming at you soon in a screen near you. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead and pour this guy. Where's my... Here we go. So Neon Giants. They will be giants. Alright. So very hazy right off the top. And of course, I just messed up my pants, but such is the life of a on-screen pourer. And I guess I'm gonna continue doing that, and I'm also gonna have an awful pour. But you know what? This is the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. This is kind of the sort of thing that you expect. Alright, so this is an awful pour. As you can see, an amateur might have done this. But it is also the case that, you know what, once you have a fizzy beer in your hands, there's very little you can do other than pour it extremely slowly and hope for the best. So let's at least check out the aroma here. So it's got, you know, this might sound a little detrimental to folks out there, but it's got that soapy citrus aroma to it. And I'm not suggesting it's soapy in the sense that, oh, it tastes like soap or anything like that. It's more like an effervescent, bubbly kind of smell, almost like the quality of a bubble gum. But at the same time, it's actually a little sweet almost like a tangerine flavor. I think it's come down enough for us to taste it. So fang a nail, dear viewer. And so very citrus forward. I want to say oranges and tangerines. I was concerned that it might be a little grapefruity, but this is actually quite sweet. Certainly some notes of mango, very strong mango actually. Mango and orange would probably be the strongest flavors that I noticed there. A medium light body, 2 out of 5. Crisp, not too heavy, almost a creamy taste, almost like a creamy IPA. I like it a lot. This is actually good. I'm surprised that a collaboration actually came out this way, especially with our friends at Firewalker, which, again, not to cast aspersions on them, but they certainly got their niche. So I recommend it if you see it out in the wild. Okay, so all that, I'm gonna go ahead and update my ticker. I'm going to enter my Untapped entry and we'll get right on Hades. I will see you on the other side of this break. we are back. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road. And there's our sound. I think we're in the right place. Yeah, desktop is on, mic is on. Let's get a move on, shall we? And so, longtime fans of my Hades playthrough will remember that I've essentially got two impositions on my playthrough. Number one, I will always use a Shield of Chaos with the aspect of chaos. And number two, whenever Dionysus is available, I will go for Dionysus. And that's because we love to drink. Not much more than that. I also don't use cast that often, but I've started to learn how to use it, so maybe I'll be using more of that. Let's see. And that's Hypno.
Hey, you're back. Wait, what happened? My list says you got killed by a redacted? What's that even mean? I've never seen anything like this.
I believe it is actually the case that I got killed by Dad during a second phase. But maybe that's too much to discuss.
Don't want to talk about it.
Ah, where is Father? Maybe he doesn't want to chat after that fight.
I hope I haven't been inconveniencing you too much with all the visits to the temple lately, boy. Say, how do you get back? Charon giving you a lift?
Thus asks the prince his question of the guardian of the gates of hell, knowing full well the multi-headed monster keeps a wide berth of the river boatman, as do all with any sense.
Just kidding, boy.
I don't know that servers would really want to answer that question anyways.
More pets? More pets.
Always pets. Let's change our camera angle here. It's a bit off center. Alright, let's do this. Ooh. Fan.
I still cannot entirely believe you really think there's any way you're getting out of here.
Why? You've been out. Thanks to you, the mortals end up down here maybe half the time.
That's different. That's my job. I can't stay there, and frankly, I can barely stand it. Do you have any idea how bright it gets up there?
No idea.
But I look forward to finding out for myself.
Well, we'll see what the fates have to say about that. Maybe the shade of Daedalus can make you some protective eyewear or something.
Don't be ridiculous, Than.
Not a bad idea, whatever the case. Now, what's my affection level with Than at this point? 3 hearts. It seems like I need to have 6 more conversations with him. No need to use gifts on him just yet. And Achilles seems to be missing.
Hey, Orpheus. I take it you know all about the time I burned my father's hands to a crisp the moment I was born. He grasped me by the feet, and they caught fire. And that's why he still wears those fancy rings, to cover up the hideous scar tissue.
Is that how it went down?
But that is such a splendid tale, Zagreus, deserving to be sung both far and wide, until it turns into the stuff of myth, as deathless as the gods themselves. I'll gladly tell that one about.
Always happy to have your support, Orpheus.
Great.
Alright, and let's see, just a minute here. Alright. I don't think I need to really renovate today. And Mama's gone. Meg.
Excuse me, is there something I can do for you, Prince Zagreus?
I'd certainly love your thoughts.
It's nothing. I just thought I'd say that was well fought back there.
Nice.
There's no returning to the way things used to be, Zag. Now, can I offer you some words of advice?
Fire away.
Think over yourself and get ready to die out there next time we meet.
That's not what I was expecting to hear, but Megs will be Megs. Only 1 heart. That's not good. Ooh, the chef.
Deuce is probably cleaning the rafters. Trade you these horrid things. Till next time.
Alright. Let's see if I can trade some of this for Titan's Bloods. That really is what I'm looking for.
Some stuff.
Power up my aspects. So if I want Titan Blood, I need that ambrosia. To get ambrosia, I need diamonds. To get diamonds, I need nectars. To get nectars, I need keys. So let's go ahead and give away some keys.
Fair and square.
And that's... I've only got up to 7. How many jewels do I have? I could probably give away some more.
It's a deal. Chthonic keys.
Okay, some more.
I'll take it.
And I am stuck. All the way up to 8 nectars. And that will still only give me 1 more diamond. Then I can trade 2 of those for 1 ambrosia. Someday. Someday. Maybe there's some more darkness that I can reap over here. How about that? Is there no escape? Are we close to any of these? Zeus, Poseidon. I need a rip current here. Blown kiss. I'm sure a lot of these have to do with the shot, whatever it's called. Dionysus. High tolerance. I am missing a high tolerance here. Quick favor. Ooh, legendary boons. I also need to collect those. And these are the duo boons, which are also incredibly powerful. Stygian blade, the bow. And so I've used the other weapons in times past, but I've decided to focus on the shield because I love it. I love throwing the Captain America shield. And I think that given the frequency with which I play, I might as well just focus on a single weapon. There will be time to go back to the others. Maybe. A violent past. And all of the aspects are here. Whew. All the wardens. Guarding key underworld chambers. I guess I haven't... This must be either bosses or mid-bosses. Simple job. More house contractor jobs. Of course. Customer loyalty. Interesting. And denizens of the deep. Catch more fish. These are the completed ones, and of course I completed the Shield of Chaos one already.
Night, protect me.
367 already. Looks like I can get some more Olympian favor, which is really all I want at this point. Wow. Plus 34% already. And of course, more rare and more epic boons. That's really all I want at this point.
Phew, felt that.
Let's get out of here. Let's blow this joint. Rather, blow this taco stand. Skelly.
Come on, mate, won't you say who hired you? Was it Achilles? Couldn't have been Nyx. Is it that big a deal?
Is it?
I am an individual of some integrity, boyo, and protect my sources with my life. You'll have to kill me if you want to make me squeal.
I didn't think we were going that far, Skelly. Where are we in terms of friendship with him? Just a single heart. And what keepsake am I working on right now? Ooh, very close to... No, that's not what I'm wearing right now. Here we go. We actually have the lucky tooth from Skelly. 75 hearts when your life is totally depleted. So it's almost like an extra life once I die, and I need 41 more encounters for this to rank up. That's fine. The Shield of Chaos, of course. Need one more Titan Blood to power it up. Not too bad. And there we go. That's all the techniques we need. And of course, the cast. There we go. Let's get out of here.
Well, time to go get killed again.
Indeed, because this is the Ales and Fails Twitch stream.
Why do you bleed like mortals do? An aberration, nothing more. And nothing to be proud of. I suggest you keep it to yourself.
Can't say that I am proud of my bleeding.
I'm no mere mortal.
Athena, the former wielder of the Shield of Chaos. One of the former wielders of the Shield of Chaos.
Keep fighting, cousin. Fight from out of that eternal gloom. I trust you'll be joining us upon Olympus shortly.
I do love your enthusiasm, Athena. My dash deals damage and can cast Deflect. My cast does damage and cast Deflects. And my special is stronger. That's I wish that my attack could just cast Deflect. It's actually a lot better. Let's go for the special. It's not ideal, but I'll take it.
Athena's power. Shoo already.
And a Sathonic Key.
You're nothing.
Beautiful. And so either coin or maybe there's actually no other choice. Maybe our lives are preordained. Or maybe not.
Who dies first?
Some more. I hear Master Chaos.
Good enough.
And always check your chambers in case there's any coin. Very nice. So while I am not in any challenging levels, I did catch that last episode of The Last of Us, episode 4. I actually haven't played the game beyond the first hour. But at least based on the articles that I'm reading, it is interesting to see just how the creators decided to differentiate themselves from the gameplay in positive ways. I don't want to run into spikes. Wow. Alright, not too bad. And Dionysus is our friend. Let's get a move on. But certainly some challenging scenes. At least in episode 4, you do have themes of a child growing up too fast, which is always difficult. Wow, 2 life bars. It's very difficult for me to tell when I actually get hit and when I don't, when I go right through them.
Hello there, Dionysus.
Old friend.
But you took care of Theseus down in Elysium of late there, Zag. Nice work. Never liked that one. Between us. This nice lass helped him out one time and he just dumped her rotten. I don't like that, man.
Yeah, that does sound sus. So Drunken Strike, which is always a friendly, a good one. The Drunken Dash, I do like that. And then the After Party, when your health is low, you restore up to threshold. So it's at 30%. I'm gonna say the Drunken Dash just because it allows me to run through enemies and give them this AoE as I run through them. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Ooh. Anything else in this chamber? Nothing really. All we've got ahead of ourselves is gemstones. Gem is my name. Not too bad. I wish I didn't have to get hit with that one. And it's Artemis. Is Artemis our single choice here? And actually, that reminds me, I forgot to post a question of the evening here. Let's go with favorite god of the Greek pantheon. Of course, the question is, who is your favorite god of the Greek pantheon? Let's go with that. Let's go ahead and pin that one. There we go. Let's keep moving. And Artemis, but I think we're gonna have to take down a mid-boss before we do that. The Mad Bombers.
Let's go, lads.
So really the trick with these guys is to honestly just stay ahead of them. Which you might think easier said than done. But after a while you kind of understand their pattern.
You must have a friend or two, don't you? It's hard being alone all of the time. At least I have Callisto and the other nymphs, and I have you. A distant friend is still a friend, isn't that right?
Artemis, you've certainly grown to be one of my favorite deities in this pantheon over time. Your cast deals 10%. Call, that one's always good. And then any damage you deal has a chance to be critical. Any damage. Pressure point sounds. It's either the aid or the pressure points. Any thoughts, chat? Okay, I think we are going to go with Artemis's aid. I really like to have Artemis at my side. I guess we're going for darkness now. Oh.
I can catch my breath. Nyx's power.
I guess it does make sense to suggest that Nyx is the one that's behind all the darkness. Back at 100. I wish I had more centaur hearts though. I generally feel comfortable with like 150 in my health pool, though more is generally better. So Palm of Power or Shop. I'm at 290. I don't know, maybe can't imagine that I can buy anything useful. Although I might be able to buy a boon. But those don't cost less than 300, I want to say. Palm it is.
Numbskulls.
I still find it rather hilarious that that's their actual name. I haven't met with Master Chaos yet. Let it fly.
Delicious.
Okay, so Divine Flourish, Special is stronger, Drunken Dash is stronger, or Artemis's Aid. Let's go with the Dash. Nothing too special, really. And let's go get that Nectar. Make some friends. We need friends. In real life.
If I could take a minute of your time.
Oh, hey. Survive for 45 seconds. Why did I have to wait for that?
I shall deal with you later then.
Okay, I don't think that I got hit too many times, but still. I should have saved my call.
sweet.
I'll save my next nectar for a friend. Up to 50 jewels. I don't think that's really something I need. Center heart or a meeting with Sisyphus. Ah, why not?
Well.
Where are we in terms of friendship with Sisyphus? Let's go and give him something good.
Why, Prince, you being serious right now? Is that from me?
Indeed it is, old chap.
You deserve better, Sisyphus. This really isn't much, but maybe it'll help you while away the days, nights, whatever time it is.
And yet, the act of doing so for some interminable length of time appears to have imparted on him a certain kind of outlook on his life, such as it is one that I may well do to study in my own ample amounts of time to spare.
Word is you caused quite the hubbub in Elysium, Prince Ed. Making the champion up there really worked for it, I hear.
I like that moniker, Prince Ed.
I guess. Apparently word gets around. That Theseus, though, he doesn't care for me one bit, let me tell you.
Yeah, he's kind of a blowhard.
I bet he'd like you better if you were a regular pushover. Ah well, he'll learn, I'm sure.
Maybe. So healing, darkness, or Charon's opal. I think we need more darkness. Let's get some more coin.
Makes sense to me.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you.
We're at 450. Very nice.
Try all you like.
I wasn't. That wasn't my intention.
Oh, come now.
And the center heart is up ahead, whether we want it or not.
Wretches.
Shouldn't have taken that shot.
The power of the gods.
Alright, so Drunken Dash can be stronger. Special can be stronger. This is a pretty big leap. 81% to a 105. And then of course Artemis's aid. I do feel like I need this more.
Powered up.
I am saddened that I haven't met Master Chaos yet. And so a center heart or the shop. I think I have a lot of coins, so let's visit the shop. The room before the room.
Charon's shop.
I can buy 2 boons. Where are we in terms of Charon? 4 hearts already.
Charon, Hermes told me that the other Olympians are unaware he's lending his support to me. I'm curious to know what's going on. Thinking of asking Nyx. Figured I'd check with you first.
Yeah, what's the story of Charon? Of course.
I'll keep it to myself for now, then. Thanks.
Okay, let's go with Hermes.
I can use this.
Your God Gauge charges up automatically. 1% every 2 seconds, and it's also a fated choice. I'd be a fool not to get that. Quick recovery after taking damage, quickly dash. I've done that before. After using call, dodge. Let's go for God Gauge. And you know what? Let's see what Uncle has to offer. Your attack emits chain lightning. That could be good, given that I don't have anything on my attack right now. After using call, you deal more damage. And after you dash, a bolt strikes a nearby foe. Let's go for lightning strike. A very basic one, but I think it should be good. And anything to fish here? Anything else in this room? I think we're good. Really, it's all about hoping for our favorite of the Fury Sisters to show up. Let's see what's up.
Oh, good.
If only I could give her some nectar. Where are you? Closer. Gosh, I gotta move faster whenever that happens. Closer.
Picked up their scent.
Down she goes. One lady for another. Until next time, Tisiphone. And away we go. I'm not going to say that this is the best set of boons, but
So much for the fearsome furies.
certainly not the worst. The Eye of Lamia. Ooh, a fated choice. Ensure a fishing point will spawn ahead. 20% more move speed for 8 encounters. Let's do that.
I'll take that.
And I don't think we need this today. Don't want to sell anything. Let's go ahead and move on. And just a second here, folks. Checking in on real life. Always good to see friends of ours liking our posts. And let's see here.
Be there soon, Bone Hydra.
And I believe I just heard a fishing point. Voila. Oh, come on.
I missed.
Trigger happy, trigger happy. Trigger sad. Ah, Hammer of Daedalus. Let's see how this changes things up.
More bone rakers.
A little careless, I think. Oh, come on, I was supposed to rush. That was one too many hits. Like 3 too many hits. So after your special hits, your next 2 attacks deal 80% more damage. That's actually pretty cool. After blocking a foe, gain 20% damage and move speed for 20. And then your Bull Rush deals 400% damage to armor, which is something that I've actually used before. I am trying to use the Bull Rush more for this particular aspect, though this sounds quite tantalizing.
Deadlier than ever.
Yeah, I do like my Bull Rush actually. In some respects, maybe a little more than my special. See if there's anything around here. So there's a Sothonic key. There's darkness, of course, and gems. I think we'll go for the key. The Kingdom Hearts.
Off we go.
Try to play carefully here. Where did... Okay. So certainly got hit more than I wanted to, but not as bad as that last round. And it's either Hermes or Coin. I feel like I should always take Hermes whenever the chance is available. I might regret that, but... yeah. Let's see what he has to say. Very fast. Where are you guys?
Got to hold on.
Oh, come on now. Down he goes. I'm about to lose this life, aren't I?
The slowest part of this particular trip is hereby over now.
Okay. Side hustle. So you gain a bit of wealth. Greatest reflex. You can dash more times in a row. That's all. That one's always good. And after using call, you gain dodge for 10 seconds. Let's go with the epic one.
Now here goes.
Even faster than before. And that's good because in this game, Speed equals life. I really do need some energy. Let's hope that I can buy some back. And this might be my chance. A palm of power. I've only got 174. Whew, what a choice here. I guess you don't want to talk. 4 hearts. That's more than a lot of Olympian deities. Let's go with the palm of power.
Should help keep me going.
Even more of a call, maybe? Lightning strike.
Popped up. That's a relief.
And the next is a Zeus challenge. Is this the Bone Hydra? I wonder. I feel like I've gone fairly quickly through Asphodel. No.
Fancy running into you again.
Is done and done. Come on, buddy. Down he goes.
Beat me to you this time, has she? No matter. With her blessing and my own, you shall be nigh unstoppable.
I'd like to think so, Dad. Okay, and my cast is a burst of... Static discharge. Your lightning effects also make foes jolted. Which means that if they attack, they also hurt themselves. And after using call, you deal more damage. Let's go with the discharge, especially since it's part of our attack. Ooh, and next we see, what's her name? Persephone?
Guess I get a break.
Here you go.
You read my mind, hon. I go through this stuff awful fast sometimes.
Don't we all?
And I, in turn, shall go through your incredible cooking awful fast, given the opportunity.
The nymph Eurydice, born of the oak itself, must know this better than most of her kind. She took a suitor who, by most accounts, was but a common mortal, talented beyond compare, but not a god. Yet, all the love they shared could not keep death from tearing them apart.
Eurydice, can I ask you for a favor here? Not that you owe me anything, but would you hear me out?
Yeah, sure, hon. What is it? Though you'd better not be asking for my recipes. Closely guarded family secret. I'd say I'd take them to my grave, but yeah.
They are here with you.
It's not your recipes, though they are wonderful. It's your song. I'm sure it'd be a hit around the house, and I know someone who really needs to hear it. Don't suppose you've got a parchment copy I could have?
Your Royal Majesty, you want my song? You are aware it's called Good Riddance, right? But sure, why not? If music's gonna be playing in your house, it might as well be great. And let me give you something to go with it.
Nothing but the best. So, loved by the gods, up 2 random boons of yours are upgraded to the next rarity. Up to 4 random boons, getting +1 level. And the Nectar, the next 3 boons you find have upgraded rarity. Let's play the game.
Good choice.
Really hit the spot.
Okay, so where exactly do we stand? Not here. Greatest reflex, it's at heroic. So you get +4 dashes. That's not it. It's not a drunken dash, is it? How I forget these things. Well, I'm sure one of these went from rare to epic. Maybe. Let's get a move on. Karen's shop is up next, but as of right now, I've got no coin, so it might as well just be a chamber where I collect nothing.
See you again.
Bye, bud.
And I just noticed as I was leaving that maybe she had something more to say. Foolish. Nothing to say. Let's go get some burgers. That might get me through the next fight, but we'll see. Sorry.
Bone Hydra, how come we never talk?
Okay. And there we go. That's all we want. Ah, these landmines. Let's save the greater call for when all the friends show up. Oh, come on. All of them. Down it goes. And it goes, one death defied. At least it wasn't two. And that should get us back in shape. Hopefully the next chamber has a fountain of, one of those fountains, and maybe we can get some more health there. Artemis's boon certainly came in a pinch. Okay. And we're still working through our lucky tooth. 25 more encounters. I don't think I need to sell anything. I think I have no coin, so... Wow. Exactly what I want and exactly what I can't have. Okay. Well, off we go, I guess.
To the top.
Over the top, as Sylvester Stallone once said.
The fields of Elysium.
And this is really where things actually start getting challenging. It's no guarantee that I actually make it through Elysium.
Asterius and Theseus are probably expecting me.
Every time I get here, it reminds me of Made in Abyss. For any of those of you that have seen that. Hammer of Daedalus or coin. Let's go for the hammer.
What is it now?
Ah, it's so difficult to get away from those things. Oh, come on, 19.
Will that be all?
Okay, so during your dash, your special is faster. I don't know that I have enough time to throw my special during my dash. Your special can strike up to 4 additional foes. That's a cool one. And then your bulwark instead of fires a piercing shot. I've tried that before. That's an interesting way to play, but certainly not something that I'm looking forward to right now.
Let's go, Aegis.
Aegis, the shield of chaos. And so Palm of Power for Artemis. Let's go with Artemis. I've got something for her. Wait, what the? Of course it had to be a trap. I'm faster than you, buddy. Oh, come on! There's a Hell's Butterfly. I failed to realize that. I should have taken it out from the beginning.
You found me.
Lord Hades and the Lady Artemis have certain traits in common, I suppose. Each solitary and committed to their work. If only my Lord Hades understood that, someone such as Artemis could be someone to confide in, rather than resent along with all the others on Olympus.
My Lady Artemis. Your favor's been invaluable to me. No finer huntress ever walked the surface of the earth or underneath.
Very humble.
You're being very nice to me, and that makes me suspicious, understand? So, you want more of that? You keep this up.
Very nice thoughts. And we're at 4 hearts. Hopefully we get all the hearts.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Your cast seeks foes with a 10% chance of critical. Your critical effects deal even more damage. 15% more damage. And your support, your cast or hit with an attack or special, fire a seeking arrow. Okay, well that's interesting. I don't think I've seen this one before. Let's see how it works in battle, I guess. Every once in a while I'll get a shot. Palm of Power. I guess it is only Palm of Power. Palm of Power. And for any of you just tuning in, still enjoying a Neon Giants Hazy IPA, which is a collaboration Hazy IPA. Refreshing.
Thanatos.
Death is inescapable.
Maybe.
I got the message that you need assistance, Zagreus.
Always from you.
You better.
That sounds like a Ratchet and Clank title. What? Oh, come on. I got distracted. That was not good. Not good at all.
Delicious.
Okay. Maybe it's time to power up the Divine Flourish. Hey, where did he go? Oh, come on. Next time I should talk to him first. That was deplorable. One of the things that I don't actually know about whenever Thanatos shows up is, does it matter if I attack him? Because I generally try to stay out of his way, and then another thing is whether or not his attacks hurt me. And I also try to stay out of his way for those. So I don't think that has actually been helping me. Now! Oh, come now! I hate the fact that that's like in two different heights. Where's that blasted archer? This has been my bane this entire time. Should have taken it out when I noticed it, but I didn't.
Farewell for now, sinister ball of butterflies.
Wow, what a pain.
Of Hades.
Okay. Clean kill. Your critical effects deal even more damage. I don't think I've had that one before. After your critical damage a foe is marked. And let's go for a clean kill. Okay. And I've essentially got no death defiances left other than Skelly's Tooth, which is also not perfect. I don't have a lot of coin. I'm gonna go for the Centaur Heart. Whoa, hey. Gotta take care of these archers first. And I do love how much more my shield bounces off of things. Down it goes.
That ought to keep me going for a bit.
But just for a bit. Another Centaur Heart or more Charon Shop. I think I'm gonna go for the heart. Might be the only way to continue sustaining this playthrough. What is that? Oh, I thought it was one of these memory things, but I guess not. Ooh, fishing spot.
Here's something to remember, fishies. There.
Ah, clam. I think that's the first time I've encountered one of those. Alas. Let's pour the rest of this guy. Maybe let's adjust this just a bit. There we go. I like that a little bit more.
More splitters.
Oh, come on.
Welcome.
Where's this archer?
Easy.
Oh, I see it. There's more. That was ridiculous. That is not gonna keep me alive. Can I sell something? Purge of port fire. No. I really hate selling my boons. I really don't like doing it. I feel like they're all useful in some way. Okay, so either Chthonic key or gemstones. Let's go for the key. Unless there's something else around here. And I thought I saw a well. Was I mistaken? Here it is. 15% chance to drop hard items for only 3 encounters. 25. I don't think I want to waste it. Especially for a 15%. Mid-boss. That was close. Too many traps around here. That's very frustrating. Now.
Nowhere to hide from me.
Down it goes. But I am very weak at this point. I wonder if I'll be able to keep going. And of course, let's go for that nectar. That nectarine. I do enjoy a good nectarine. Oh no. It's one of these. Stay away from these punks. What? Shields up, boy.
My Skelly's lucky too.
Wow. This is a congregation of...
Oh, hi. Remember me?
Always. Thank you, Artemis. Came through in a pinch. I don't need gemstones. I need deathifieds. Okay, so... Karen. That might actually give us a pretty decent chance. Okay, good. Not a fighting chamber. And this actually might be the room before the room. No gifts necessary, I guess. So a palm or lucky bag. At this point, why not?
Something for you here. Now, Zagreus, once you arrive, we'll have to find for you a suitable mate, won't we? Fine young man such as yourself. Normally, there's much to choose from around here, with some exceptions, of course, such as my cunning daughter, Artemis, willfully uninclined to take a mate at all.
Don't even. That's not how we do things.
Yes, Zagreus, in spite of all these perfect, chiseled prospects everywhere about yearning to marry or embarrass me, for some reason I prefer to spend my time mostly alone or with nymph friends in the woods.
Imagine that. You want to be yourself.
interesting.
Ooh, a duo. That is a fated choice. It's almost like I have to take it. And of course, Storm Lightning.
Teamwork.
That's not really gonna do us much good since we don't really use our cast. That's how it goes. Just buy everything.
Power of Olympus.
We'll try to use our cast for our next fight, but I really doubt it's gonna make a difference. Alright, let's challenge Theseus and the Minotaur.
Hey everyone, I'm back.
The monster has returned in a vainglorious attempt to wrest the title champion from me.
Perfect choice of words, vainglorious.
I couldn't care less about your title. Though, shouldn't you share it with the Minotaur? He's more than half the reason you've been in any trouble.
That's what I've been saying.
You'll not drive a wedge between us, fiend. Asterius and I share a fraternal bond forged from the strongest bronze, nay, adamant. You have caused us both offense.
Not platinum. And it's better to attack on the periphery just because that way we can actually dodge Theseus' attacks. Wow. Very much. Boom. Down I go. Oh, well. There wasn't very much room for error in that one anyways. And this is the Ails and Fails Twitch stream, so why did you expect any better? Alright, let's take a break, folks. I think we need a small bio break, and my cup is running dry, so why not? It might be just time to take a break here. So I'll see you on the other side of this to be continued screen for another fun run through Hades. And let's go with... put on some clarity because we're gonna be clear tonight. Welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Aelwolf, self-proclaimed gentleman streamer. One of the things that I failed to mention today is that I got a new piece of clothing today. That is Brachydios, my spirit beast right there. My favorite monster in Monster Hunter series. I love him to death. He does throw a mean fist and it blows up, so I'm gonna wear him till the day I die. Before we move on to our next run of Hades, I did want to go ahead and talk about what I'm drinking next. And this is actually an Ales and Fails Exclusive. This is something that I've never had before. Not only have I never had it before, I've never had this beer style before, which is something to be said, because I feel like I've had a lot of different beer styles on this stream. This is this is Aecht Schlenkerla Rauchbier, Märzen. That is a lot of German words. I have pronounced none of them properly. This is a Märzen, and this is also a smoked beer. So let's take that by pieces. What exactly is a Märzen? Well, a Märzen is an ale that's brewed generally in Germany, and it is harvested during March, Märzen. What's special about that is that it is also known as Oktoberfest beer, and that's because you harvest it in March, you boil and ferment it during that time, and then it is ready for the Oktoberfest beer festival. So if somebody ever shows you a Märzen beer, it is actually an Oktoberfest beer, and those are generally malty, they're generally light, they're very drinkable, they're sweet-ish, but still with a light body, which is not what you expect from a sweet beer. So I like those, but this is something different. This is a smoked beer, but what exactly is a smoked beer, you might ask? Probably one of my favorite beer styles. I was just talking about this with some friends the other day. A smoked beer is a beer that is made using barley that has been smoked before it was ever boiled. And so you know how you smoke meats and then you consume them? It's kind of that idea, except you are smoking the grains themselves, and that bestows upon them a smoky flavor. And you put that into a brew kettle, and it doesn't lose that smoke flavor. And so what ends up happening is you get a beer that has a very interesting and unique palate, in the sense that it actually tastes like something that is roasting over an open fire, a grill even. What I like to tell my friends whenever I drink something like this is I feel like I'm actually having a delicious barbecue when I'm drinking it. And that is not euphemistic. That is actually the plain truth. I almost feel like I'm tasting delicious meaty barbecue when I'm having one of these. And that is probably why this is one of my favorite drinks. Before we actually taste it, let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say on the matter. Untapped being the end-all be-all of all these things. Let's go with Taylor. Let's go with this guy over here. Okay. Baumberg's Specialty, a dark bottom fermented smoked beer. So actually this is a lager, brewed with original Schlenkerla smoke malt from the Schlenkerla maltings, and tapped, according to old tradition, directly from the gravity-fed oak wood cask in the 14th century brewery tavern. So I guess I failed to suggest this is actually not an ale, but this is actually a lager, and I guess that makes sense. I think most Märzens are lagers, but correct me if I'm wrong out there. So smoked malt, of course, is just a malt that is made using smoked malt. Why would it mean anything else? Let's go ahead and switch back to our standard scene. And let's go ahead and crack open this bad boy. And so This particular brewery is the brewery that I know that does the most smoked beers, but of course that's not to say that it is the only brewery that does this smoked beers. Let's go ahead and pour this. And of course, already from the nose, very meaty. It's almost like you're grilling some delicious sausages and you're standing over them and you're smelling them, and it's right there. It's quite good. Let's go ahead and pour it. Very much the color of a Märzen, kind of like a dry brown, copper even, maybe like an amber ale, but not really. And I think that's as much as we can pour here. So that's what it looks like, a copperish red. Again, a very strong sausagey nose, maybe like a marinated chicken using strong peppers, maybe closer to some good steak over a grilling fire. Charcoal, not propane. Yeah, I think that's what that smells like. Fang and ale, dear viewer. Very light body, certainly a 1. The maltiness is not sweet per se, it's more like a dry maltiness, but it's not bitter like hops. I want to say like almost like a cola soda without the sweetness, but then the smokiness just bestows a savoriness upon taste. It's like you're drinking a beer that has very strong notes of almost of an umami flavor, quite rich, and yeah, it's very compelling. Most people, imagine that most people don't actually like smoked beers, and that's okay. That's more for me to have. But I feel like more people should give them a chance. More people should just like, smell them and think about them. I feel that they are quite delicious to your health. So let me go ahead and take a quick break. I'm gonna go ahead and enter my notes, update my ticker, and on the other side of this break, we'll see you back in the world of Hades. Okay, and we are back. Let's go ahead and give this guy volume. So we just had a failed run through Hades, of course, because that is how we roll around these parts. But you know what? We are all the better for it. We're good. We're good to go again. One more time, like Daft Punk once said. Let's get a move on and see what we can do today. Where are we in terms of hypnos? No hearts at all, seriously. I am surprised, hypnos.
Surprise, Hypnos. I got you this.
Whoa, 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 you can't put that in here. Just kidding. Thanks. But wait, I'll trade you. Look.
What is this? Sathonic coin purse. Prophecy foretold. Wow, okay. First heart. It is a wonder that the master is so tolerant of this. Some say it is because the master is oblivious to hypnos, but it is my choice to think the master secretly and silently enjoys the bit of levity the fellow purposely or inadvertently provides. That is really how I see hypnos.
Good, you're back. So prior to when Theseus killed you again back there, did you by any chance happen to ask his big bull buddy for an autograph from me this time?
You know what? I think I forgot.
Not come up.
Dad.
Finally returned to your senses, haven't you, Orpheus? A court musician who refused to sing. Such nonsense. I trust there shall be no more insubordination from you moving forward.
I'm gladdened that my songs yet stir your soul, my lord. But I have to confess my choice to sing again was motivated largely by the prince. And by my muse, of course.
Well said, Orpheus.
Still going on about so-called muse, I see. You had your chance with Eurydice. You squandered it. And now you're here. A deal is a deal. I expect you to comply with your end of our agreement.
The nature of eternal deals, I guess.
That's why he's stuck here, huh?
Hmm. But what about Dad? I guess I can't really access him. For Cerberus, we've got a 1 heart. I don't think we really need that much.
The vicious, triple-headed Cerberus shows some restraint for now.
Be good, boy. I mean, old father's nice to you at least, isn't he, boy?
Crazy dog.
Prince.
And with Achilles, we're at 3 hearts, which is a good place to be, I think.
I'll keep an eye on things while you go away.
Bye.
Do so. Let's go for 1 more.
Oh my. Your Highness, are you really sure you want me to have this?
Absolutely.
I really am, Dusa. I hope you enjoy it.
Although she comes off as talkative, to my knowledge, she has never been forthcoming about the circumstances that led her here. A background check confirms she has only traced connections to the Gorgons of Asphodel, though could not verify any connections to the notorious Gorgon sisters of the surface. Interesting. Hey, where did Orpheus go? Oh, wait, he was here all along. And I have no jewels, and that's because I've been spending them for trades. Nyx. Where are we with Nyx? 4 hearts. We love Nyx.
I don't suppose the name Skelly happens to mean anything to you, does it, Nyx?
It means nothing to me at all, my child. Though, why do you invoke such names within this house? Who is this Skelly, and what do you presume is the connection that exists between us?
This is a very strange line of questioning.
Oh, Well, essentially he's an animated skeleton who shows up just outside my bedchambers and lets me practice with my weapons on him. I sort of figured that you put him up to it. So it wasn't you?
Achilles moves throughout these chambers under my own shroud, if you must know. And thus you have in your possession the infernal arms. But I have not exerted further influence than that. Is this skeleton to be trusted then?
I think he's a good guy. I like him.
I think so. I don't know. He seems alright.
Yeah, he's a fine chap, I wanna say. Ooh, what is this?
What's new?
Heart failure.
This is my latest haul.
Nice.
Why, thank you.
One more nectar. And can I trade anything?
What's new? Too good to pass up.
And of course, I've been giving away these nectars, but I really need them to get diamonds. I'll never win, will I? Let's move on. One prophecy was completed, wasn't it?
Another prophecy.
Is there no escape? Wait, I thought something was completed. Close at heart. No such luck, I guess. I'm merely closer to completing something. I haven't actually completed anything. Okay. So 200. Let's go through these. So Shadow Presence. Deal bonus attack and special when striking foes from behind. And the alternative is Fiery Presence. Chthonic Vitality. So more when you collect darkness. I guess that seems good. That Defiances or Stubborn Defiances. %, instead of dying when your total life is depleted. That could be useful at some point in the future. Greater Reflex. Or Ruthless Reflex. Gain 50% damage and dodge chance for 2 seconds when you dash just before getting hit. That involves a lot of reflexes, I guess. Boiling Blood.
This one then.
I say I leave it as is. Raise your supply of cast. Deep Pockets. So start with 100 coins, or gain wealth when you clear another world region. I think we're fine. Thick Skin. Raise your life total 5% per rank. And deal bonus damage when you've got a lot of health, I guess. Deal bonus damage for each Olympian whose boons you have. Yeah, so I think it makes more sense to keep it here. And then Olympian favor, of course. God's pride. And fated persuasion. Let's go with Olympian favor, of course. Wow, 34% already. %38.
Now we're talking.
Let's get a move on. Such a savory beer. I don't think I can say that about a lot of things.
Pal, thanks again for that nectar bottle from before. Stuff just goes right through me like you won't believe. Though I hope you're not going around giving that stuff away to every bozo you know.
Well, I am trying to become popular.
What, Skelly, you worry something bad is going to happen if I display generosity from time to time through our somewhat illicit gift-giving custom around here?
No, I'm worried you'll be wasting your time. If you give that stuff away, don't expect to get anything back. Well, not after the first time, anyway. Usually. I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up.
Fair enough.
Maybe I just want to show thanks to my friends for its own sake.
Yeah, there is that.
Sure.
I like to get gifts. A love language, if you will. So still.
Let me see into your past.
One Titan blood away from perfection. Let's get out of here.
Time to go. What do we have here?
Hello, hello.
Lord Dionysus, mate. You have made the mood down here materially less miserable, and I am much obliged.
Very much so.
What is that for me? Why, Zach, I mean, you really shouldn't have. You know I can't get enough of this stuff, right?
Don't I know it? Being rather unlike the other gods in this regard, he nonetheless maintains a careful distance from the underworld, generally severing his ties with all his mortal followers upon the moment of the deaths. Why confront the wars of the dead when you can live in eternal feast? A man after my own heart.
Hey, Zach, ever see a fellow by the name of Orpheus down there? You ever heard of him? I bet you have. And I have had a funny thought, a little jest that maybe we could try if you'd be up to have a little harmless fun.
What are you thinking?
Harmless fun at the expense of Orpheus? You have my full and complete attention, Dionysus, mate.
That chap comes up with the most smashing songs, so I was thinking maybe we could spin him a tall tale, something like how maybe you and I, like, we're connected or something. He'll buy it. Tell him for me, yeah?
That's an interesting suggestion. So the drunken strike, of course. Special inflicts hangover. And then the drunken dash. Let's go with the dash. Like I said, it's actually the best way to damage enemies when I run right through them.
Cheers, mate. Mine. That's a lot of coin.
Lord Chaos.
Fix that for you. Go sulk someplace else.
See what else we can break. Where are we in terms of chaos? Only a single one.
This is for you, Master Chaos. Everyone beneath the heavens and earth enjoys this stuff.
You honor me in making such an offering, but please, it is not necessary to endear yourself using material means, for it is the thought alone which counts.
For an ethereal and ephemeral being, no wiser words were spoken. Yet, as all of us residing in this realm are well aware, the dead survive eternally, and thus are closer to the gods. Perhaps then, all of us exist and make our choices precisely as Chaos envisioned in ancient aeons past. For he knows everything, for he is Chaos, for there is no sense in the rhyme and reason of the worlds.
His brothers, when they sealed the Titans in the darkest reaches of this world, that was the last they saw of me as well. You were dissimilar from them, and I feel safe communicating thus with you.
I'm glad, Chaos. Okay. Each time you especially get hit for 3 hearts. Don't like that. Chambers are hidden, but then boons have 21% chance to be rare or more. And next 4 encounters, each time you attack. Wow. So don't attack, is that the idea? Let's go with this. Prophecy fulfilled. Let's go back to the real world. Road rules.
You can't stop me.
Beautiful. Anything else around here? So it's hidden. Oh wow. These hands are actually quite tough. The hand is drunk.
All mine.
Nice. Let's move forward. More hands.
How many now?
These guys are everywhere. Oh, come on. Ah, that was painful. Artemis.
I hope that once you make it to Olympus, we'll go hunting sometime, you know?
I look forward to it.
And all, but it's been nice talking to you like this.
Okay, attack is stronger with 15% chance of critical damage. That one's good. Special is stronger. And Artemis's call. Let's go with attack. Can't wait for Athena's deflect.
Let's hunt some dead. for sale.
40% more damage, 23 darkness. No, I think let's save up.
My boon from Master Chaos has evolved.
Nice. Oh, wow. Too many traps around here. Away we go. Ah, nectar.
Someone's going to enjoy this.
But will it be the right people? Okay. Aries. Let's do this. Mad bombers?
It's that damn wretched sneak.
So fast. Come on. Gotta keep moving. Ah, come on. Mid-boss of...
Let's care of that.
That's gonna weigh on me for quite some time.
Lord Ares, I honor you for all the strength you've given me to overcome my foes.
Can we save this run?
Splendid
We'll see.
offering to me. How very thoughtful there, my kin. I am taken aback, though I accept.
Excellent. And yet, men worship Ares willingly. They are so much like him. I should know. I was a warrior myself. Only in death do I begin to fully grasp my wrongs.
That a sudden scourge of war would help you out of your predicament. Why, I would stir one up for you without a second thought.
Very thoughtful of you, Ares. The special inflicts doom. Slicing shot. I really like Ares' aid.
The will to fight.
The Hammer of Daedalus. Let's go. Oh.
Bit of a break.
Nice, nice. Could have used that before. Ball Rush charges up faster. Deathlight. And the explosive return. Let's go for that. Charon.
Charon set up shop.
Where are we? I don't think I've seen this chamber before.
Could use the rod of fishing there. What lurks in the river Styx?
else fish we got? Having adapted to the river's blood-red waters here, they are by now as common as undying shades, and seem very much content to have reached these depths. Alright, so Aphrodite or Hermes. I feel like Hermes generally leads us down the right path.
I'll take this one.
After you dash, briefly become sturdy and move 100% faster. That could be good. When you're hit, you have a chance to dodge automatically. Let's go with that. Great. We're at 4 hearts with Charon. I don't think we need to give him any more. Oh, come on. Nice.
Feeling tough.
You wanna know tough? Okay, and we get to meet Sisyphus in one of the chambers. Wow. And I am starting to fade, folks. Don't be surprised if I have to call it early just like last time. I'll try to finish this run though. We'll see how it goes. Sisyphus.
Meet you a sight.
Hey, sir.
Why bother?
I don't know.
Look here, Boldy. Zed himself has come to visit us.
Does Boldy really keep you company? Personally, I would resent the giant boulder that keeps tumbling back down a hill after I push it all the way up there.
It's all about your perspective.
Oh, Baldy's not so bad. I mean, he's a good listener, a good shoulder to lean on, doesn't wield the whip. I rightly can't complain. Good having company down here.
So healing, darkness. Let's go for Charon's.
Certainly, Highness.
Nice. Okay.
Chase them away, you did.
Yes, all those pots. So down 1 Death Defiance. Let's keep moving.
More ringers. That's what you get.
Need to be quicker about this. Down it goes. Okay, so it's either Charon what could it buy here? Yeah, none of these things are very important. And again, I am fading, folks. If you got a pressing question to shoot at me, now is the time. I will probably answer anything you have to throw at me. Ah, Dionysus.
Charon's shop.
How I love thee.
Here's the fee.
So also the special inflicts hangover, a safety. Hangover also makes foes move slower. Let's go with that.
Put me right up.
Alright, which of the sisters will it be? Will I get lucky once again? Okay.
I bet Tissiphane's up. Oh well.
Not even Tisiphone could stop you. Your father must be sorely disappointed.
He's difficult to please, that much is true. What happened to Tisiphone anyway? She isn't much for conversation.
Actually, if we could get a bit more on her, that would be nice.
It runs in the family. Tis only knows her work. And professional distance is important.
Gotta stay away from the traps. Oh, come on. Impervious. Oh, down she goes.
Yes.
That could have been cleaner, but I definitely tried to rush in that one.
The underworld's power.
The power of Hermes.
Seems the Fury failed to do her job.
Off to Asphodel.
Don't be so hard on her. And I've got no monies. Better luck next time.
Till next time, Tartarus. The Asphodel Meadows. Just a few rides across the Phlegathon and up we go.
Just a few. And the Palm of Power. How interesting that this used to be one of our favorite boons and now it's yeah, it's fine. Who's next? Wow, so many of these punks. Down they go.
Good enough to eat.
Okay, so the Deadly Strike is good. Drunken Dash is good. These are all good, actually. I guess let's start with the yeah, the dash. The Pokemon Dash. And so center heart, or spend coins, or Hermes. Let's go with the heart. Definitely need the defenses. Too many bombers. Whoa. Ah, too many fire traps. That's kind of wild, but at least I'm at 150. Okay, so either Charon or Eurydice. I think I know what the right choice is here. Okay. Wait a second. What? So many of these floating heads.
Idiot.
Nice. And what is this? Up to 125 coins. Well, I really don't have that many coins. It might be worthwhile pursuing this particular challenge. I really like to get these treasure tokens anyways. Alright, let's see.
Those tropes are not for you.
What are they for?
look for better help.
Potentially. Do I win anything?
Thank you, Father.
Okay, let's keep moving. Artemis or Ares? And of course it's gonna be Lady Artemis.
On to the next one. Break it up, witches.
Wow, so much. It's impossible to... Oh man. My sensors are really getting dull here. This is ridiculous. Wow. What a waste. Let's give you a gift, Artemis. You've been nice to us all night.
At the risk of incurring your wrath, Lady Artemis, I hope you will accept this from me and see that my gratitude for all you have done for me is genuine.
What do you know? Another gift of nectar. That's quite thoughtful of you, Zagreus. Normally don't care much for the stuff, but every now and then, I mean, why not?
Good times. Good times, Artemis. And I think we've got 5 hearts. We've already gone through this.
In the name of Hades.
So special is stronger. 3% damage. A devastating blow that deals 200 damage or greater. After you deal critical damage to a foe, it is marked. This is power up the old special. This run is more or less done at this point. And gem. Too much fire in these parts. Let's do our best. Where am I even aiming anymore? Like I said, I am really fading. So, ready? Oh my goodness. Okay. I hear a fish.
I'll save you from the magma fishes.
That's one way to put it. One more slap hug. It is almost impossible to spot with the naked eye, blending in with the boiling ponds. Boiling, where did I come? Boiling magma, feasting off of bits of molten minerals. Who knows what else? What time is it anyways? 2:07. Let's see if we can make it to the Bone Hydra. I can't imagine that we're gonna progress that much in this run. One more cursed run, but I think we're building experience, and that in itself counts for something, doesn't it? Experience with others, understanding who they are. Where are you? Oh, what kind of a... Alright, I better stop talking. Wow. I am just out of my element today. I wish I could just quit, but that wouldn't be a clean finish. What am I even doing here, folks? Alright, let's just finish this chamber and let's call it a night. I think we've done enough.
That's mine.
Where's that? Alright, I think that's it for us. I'm making very stupid choices. I think we can hang up our boots here. Let's go ahead and put one of these. So, Ales and Fails Nation, this has been Hades. I hope you enjoyed that. At least the first run was a little bit compelling. I'm afraid that I just lost my energy levels during that second run. But it is late, and it is a Thursday, so let me go ahead and excuse myself on behalf of you. Thank you very much for allowing me to do that. Unfortunately, after tomorrow, I'm gonna go on a more or less 3-week hiatus, so it's gonna be quite some time until I go back to Hades, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, it makes us more anxious and more desirous of that return. At least I certainly will be very excited to go back to it, very excited to put back some regular hours into Hades. So hopefully you'll join me. I will be doing one more stream this week, tomorrow at around this time. I'll actually be playing Radical Dreamers, so feel free to join me if you're interested in some good old-fashioned RPG voice acting. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining me, those of you who did. Really appreciate your company. It's been surreal. Take care of yourselves, and as always, stay thirsty, Alpac. We'll see you again.